needless to say, I've got to finish my 12th cup of coffee here. Maybe you'll find out about moderation later. Good afternoon, and welcome to Nacha Ramanathan's senior speech. Since her arrival at Augusta Prep in the 3rd grade, Nacha's been busy making friends, working diligently to maintain a high academic average, and serving the prep community as the NHS president, a student ambassador, a student council representative, and as a member of the student section and the service club. Also, this year, Nacha has become engaged to the service practicum in the lower school, serving there as well. Perhaps this current role was inspired by our 2-month stay in Adelaide, Australia, at St. John's Grammar School, where Nacha studied accounting, health and well-being, math, and CAD. Meanwhile, outside of Augusta Prep, Nacha runs a nonprofit organization focused on women's health and teaches and performs Indian classical dance. At this time, I would like to extend a special welcome to Nacha's family and guests, including her parents, Anna Ramanathan and Meena Arun, as well as family members of Neha Murthy, Augusta Prep class of 2020, and Abby Lawson Bani, who is reconnecting with some of her friends, I'm sure. So please now welcome to the podium Nacha Ramanathan for her senior speech.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd, for the wonderful introduction and for being an amazing advisor for the past 3 years of high school. To my parents, thank you for being my biggest supporters and always giving me the opportunities, resources, and education to help me learn, grow, be a better person, bring me closer to God, and always remind me of who I am. Lastly, thank you to my friends, who somehow always manage to make school and life fun, give me the support I need when I feel stressed, and have made so many memories with in the past couple of years. According to the National Institute of Health, around 85% of the U.S. population drinks at least one caffeine beverage on a day-to-day basis. About 150 million who are avid coffee drinkers drink around 400 million cups of coffee per day, which has made America the leading consumer of coffee in the world. Additionally, according to a survey on the dating app Clover, 52% of women and 31% of men prefer to meet at a coffee shop for their first date. Caffeine has shaped Americans and people across the globe's lives, including mine. Its presence in so many people's lives is a testament to how much of an impact caffeine has had on human culture, health, and social interactions. While caffeine is so popular, not many understand the effects that caffeine has on the body. Caffeine naturally occurs in the central nervous system and works as a stimulant, which increases brain activity and nervous system function. While caffeine is absorbed within 45 minutes of consumption, it peaks in the blood anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the amount of caffeine you had, your type of body, and if you had food before consuming coffee. Food in the gut can delay the reaction that the coffee has from the caffeine. Therefore, having a cup of coffee before breakfast will have a quicker energy boost than having breakfast before your coffee. In addition, caffeine is broken down mainly in the liver. It remains in the blood for around 1.5 to 9.5 hours, depending on other factors. When caffeine is consumed on a daily basis, people can often develop caffeine tolerance, which can create reduced stimulant effects unless a higher amount of caffeine is consumed. So when you abruptly stop drinking coffee or any form of caffeine, then you might get withdrawal symptoms like headaches, irritability, depressed mood, and fatigue. But as you slowly adapt to not having caffeine, the symptoms also reduce. Withdrawal symptoms are one of the many negatives of caffeine. Some others are the possibility of depression, insomnia, muscle tremors, and fast heart rate. However, there are multiple benefits of caffeine, such as lowering the chance of multiple health problems like diabetes, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, skin cancer, stroke, and can positively affect sports performance and memory. As you can see, coffee has just as many positive effects as negative effects. So it is important to strike a balance, like drinking 2 cups of water after drinking a cup of coffee, to reverse the dehydration effects that the coffee might give. Or you can limit drinking coffee daily and make it more of an occasional thing. While the types of coffee have changed over the years, the prevalence of the coffee itself has not. The beginnings of how coffee was found is a mystery. However, there are multiple legends and theories of how and where it is found. The most popular legend is from Ethiopia. It is told that Kaldi, a goat herder, noticed that his goats were unusually energetic after eating a ripe fruit on a certain plant. Kaldi, who was intrigued by the plant, also tasted the berry and shared it among the village. When everyone ate the fruit, they were all stimulated and could not sleep because of the high dose of caffeine in the berries. As the news of the supernatural berries spread across the neighboring towns, the demand for the berries increased. As time went by, the coffee plant and berries became widely traded and became a global phenomenon spread rapidly. In fact, caffeine in coffee became so popular that coffee houses began to emerge in the Middle East, and soon the idea caught fire in Europe, which enabled for a place for social interactions, listening to singers, playing games, hearing news around the world, and to meet with friends and family. The history of coffee and caffeine goes way back, and yet it's still a prevalent drink that many have today. While coffee drinks like macchiatos, espressos, frappuccinos, and cold brews are super popular in America, there are countless ways to make and drink coffee around the world, like coffeeost, filter coffee, Irish coffee, egg coffee, and Buna. One type of coffee is coffeeost. Coffeeost is a beverage/food of the Sami, who are indigenous people from the Sami region of northern Scandinavia and Russia. This coffee, which is traditionally made with reindeer milk, incorporates cubes of cheese, which taste like halloumi, that are submerged into the coffee. The cheese absorbs the coffee taste and basically becomes a mocha-flavored cheesecake. In addition, the cup of coffee is served in what is called a goose, which is made out of birch bark. Another type of coffee is filter coffee, also known as filtered coffee. It is a type of coffee from India, specifically the state of Tamil Nadu. This hot drink is made from ground coffee and chicory, which is passed through a specific steel filter. The filter has an upper and lower chamber. The upper chamber has the actual filter, and the lower chamber collects the already filtered coffee. Once a drink is made, it is normally poured into a silver tumbler that people can drink from. Next is Irish coffee. Irish coffee originates from Ireland, as told by the name, but attracted international attention from the Buena Vista Hotel in San Francisco, which was the first place to serve the drink outside of Ireland. This coffee is a blend of Irish whiskey, coffee, brown sugar syrup, and cold heavy whipped cream. After the coffee is made, the whipped cream is carefully poured on the top to create a distinct layer, which makes it more milkier and sugary. Next is egg coffee. Egg coffee is made in Vietnam. This coffee is made with whipped egg yolk and sweetened condensed milk custard. These two ingredients are mixed together to make an airy and sweet kind of whipped cream. This whipped cream is poured on the top of the hot or cold coffee to make a tiramisu-like kind of drink. Lastly is Buna. Buna is a traditional coffee from Ethiopia, specifically the highland Kappa zone of southwestern Ethiopia. This is also where Arabica coffee, which means mother coffee, originated. Usually a Buna is had in the house during a Buna ceremony. This ceremony is normally done to show respect to the family's guests and can also be done as a casual ceremony for family, friends, and neighbors. It is also performed during special occasions like birthdays and religious holidays. The Buna ceremony begins with roasting the coffee beans on a charcoal fire and ends with the boiling of Buna 3 times in a clay jabetta, which is similar to a coffee pot. This process of preparing Buna can take at least 1 hour, so the guests, family, friends, and whoever are participating pass time by sharing stories and playing games. With caffeine having such a huge effect on the entire world, as seen in the presentation, it is important to be mindful of moderation when drinking caffeine, so one can enjoy the benefits and not worry about the negative effects it might have. Caffeine, and especially coffee, is an essential part of food, socializing, and culture around the world. While the drink and the way it is prepared varies depending on the region, the sense of it is the same everywhere. It is a way to start your morning, meet new people, reconnect with old friends, bond with family, and make new memories. It is not as much about coffee, but the experience that comes with it. So, to the class of 2024, I encourage you to grab a cup of coffee with your classmates and old friends before we go to college to reminisce of our memories and to also make new ones. Thank you.
401 cups of coffee. I think? Okay. Now, Nacha, thank you. Now that Nacha shared with you some of the different varieties of coffee and so forth, remember we have a cyber canteen, but when you go over there and start drinking coffee with your friends, classmates, colleagues, or whatever, it is a social time Don't be too loud. There's classes in the other rooms just outside the canteen. Please remember that, and please remember to drink in moderation, unlike me. Thank you. Seniors, you're welcome.